Amazon just announced 30,000 corporate job cuts, the largest in their history. Andy Jassy is pointing at AI and saying that's the culprit. But is it really? Why are other tech giants hiring AI engineers while Amazon slashes teams? Why is AWS growth slowing when AI demand should be skyrocketing? What if I told you this has nothing to do with AI taking jobs and everything to do with CEO trying to shrink his way to profitability? After watching tech leaders for decades, I'm calling out what's really happening here, and it's not what Amazon wants you to believe. The truth is behind these cuts, and we're going to dive into it today. All right, so Amazon's massive layoffs are being sold as AI efficiency, but that story doesn't hold water when you look at the facts. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is definitely automating things, but it's not AI that's doing this. Andy Jassy has been trying to force people to quit with a 5-day return to office mandate that didn't work. He set up an anonymous complaint line that got 1,500 responses and made 450 changes. Now he's using AI as a cover for cuts he wants to make. We're going to break down what's really happening here. Now, just lest anybody think, I am definitely pro capitalism, and I understand these companies can absolutely do what they want, and they can drive to profitability. And Amazon's been trying to do that for a long time, right? Now, so this is the exclusive. Amazon targets as many as 30,000 corporate jobs, sources say. Now, the job cuts may affect HR, devices, services, and operations. Now, let's kind of talk about a couple of these. I'm sure they're really overbloated in HR because they've gone from hiring to working on RTO and firing, right? And so they probably don't need as much HR staff as they had before. Devices, this is the Alexa and a lot of the other divisions that frankly have done really, really poorly in competition. Services and operations, they've always been working to automate. This has never been a secret. Now, CEO Jassy aims to reduce bureaucracy and increase AI use. Now, I get that he can aim to increase AI use, but bureaucracy and AI are two very different things. Now, of course, here's the big kicker here is that Amazon shares rise on the announcement, right? And that's the big kicker. Now, again, don't get me wrong. Amazon has been part of, and I'm going to move my fat head out of this one. Amazon has been trying to do automation for years, and this person says they're afraid for Amazon's 30,000 job cuts are just the beginning. I actually agree that it's the beginning, but I think this is more about building on attrition, right? Leaked documents reveal the company's robotic teams plan to automate 75% of operation, potentially replacing 600,000 warehouse workers by 2033. Amazon is already drafting PR strategies to brace for the backlash. Now, as you watch this here, you can definitely see all the different machines. Now, Amazon's been building this way for a long time. This isn't new. This is a corporate strategy that's been around for a long time. And as you watch this army of robots move, I find this really fascinating. And so the thing to remember about each of these is there's not like one general AI that's being built for this. Every one of these machines are entirely different and programmed entirely differently. So if you're an engineer and you want to dive into embedded programming and robotics, clearly Amazon's going to be hiring a lot of those, right? That's not going away. And so that's kind of what I want to call out here is that it's the same thing that we've been talking about for a little while here, right? Now, Jassy's way of doing this is that he originally mandated 5 days in office, expecting people to quit voluntarily. But the thing is they didn't because they're being compensated so highly. According to Reuters and CNBC, this was supposed to drive natural attrition without severance costs. When employees refused to leave on their own terms, management needed a new excuse to cut the headcount. The RTO mandate was never about productivity. It was about reducing workforce without paying severance. Now, with these cuts announced, Amazon has to pay severance anyways after the RTO strategy failed. This tells you everything about what leadership really think of their people, expendable cost centers. Now, in June, Jassy explicitly linked AI to future workforce reductions in an internal memo. So he's been setting the stage for this. But here's the problem. AI isn't actually replacing these corporate roles yet, and everyone knows it. According to the sources, these are sales teams, marketing departments, and middle managements being cut. So we're seeing the middle management being cut all over the industry, right? Middle managers are really in a tough spot right now. Because just like in my org, I keep my org really flat. And I think more and more organizations are finding that the ability to keep your org flat makes things move faster. So AI can't negotiate enterprise contracts, build client relationships, or make strategic business decisions. This is the oldest CEO trick in the book. Blame technology for cuts that you want to make for financial reasons. When leaders use AI as a scapegoat, it damages trust across the entire organization. He could just come out and say, we're driving to efficiencies, right? But Jassy created an anonymous bureaucracy mailbox that received 1,500 complaints from employees. According to the report, this led to 450 organizational changes before these massive cuts. So think about that. Employees told leadership what was broken, leadership made the changes, and then 30,000 cuts were away. So it's kind of interesting that people, who made those 1,500 complaints, where did they think this was going to go? Where did they think this was going to end? This shows management knew there were problems, but chose layoffs over fixing the systematic issues. Now, the interesting part about this is still from a COVID glut. They overhired during COVID, just like everybody else, and they've been slowly chipping away at it, but this is a really big cut. Now they're making a deeper cut. So I've consulted with companies for years, and anonymous complaint systems without real action can destroy morale faster than anything. So when you ask for feedback, but then you've got to know that feedback is generally going to cut jobs. Now, the interesting thing about this is the AWS sales growth hit just 17.5% in Q2, which was lagging behind Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. If AI was really driving efficiencies and taking jobs, AWS would be crushing the competition right now. Instead, Amazon is losing cloud market share while cutting the teams that sell and support AWS. So you don't grow slower than competitors while claiming AI made you more efficient. Because as we've all used, anybody who's ever used AWS, it's not AI doing anything in there. That is the most cumbersome and annoying system. I can't stand AWS. The real story is Amazon got complacent, lost competitive edge, and now need to cut costs to maintain margins. Blaming AI lets them avoid admitting they got outplayed by Microsoft and Google in the cloud wars. Now, layoffs.fyi reports 98,000 tech layoffs already in 2025 across the industry. Microsoft, Meta, and Salesforce all made cuts too, but they are also massively hiring AI talent simultaneously. Amazon is different. They're cutting without the corresponding AI hiring spree we're seeing elsewhere. So this reveals that these aren't AI-driven efficiency cuts. They're financial optimization cuts dressed up as a technology progress. Now, tech companies learned in 2022 and 2023 that Wall Street rewards layoffs with stock price increase. Now, every CEO has the perfect excuse to make the cuts that they wanted. Just say AI did it. So Jassy wanted to flatten the organization by removing management layers, and this I can actually agree with. According to CNN and Reuters, these cuts include individual contributors, not just managers. So sales teams, marketing professionals, and support staff are getting cut, people who don't add bureaucracy. So I've been in tech leadership positions for years, and flattening usually means cutting the people leadership doesn't want to manage. So real organization flattening happens through better process and tools, not through mass layoffs. That's the thing that I don't understand, is if you're Amazon right now, why wouldn't you just use these people, redeploy them, and surge? Or else they just are truly trying to get rid of this bottom 30%. Now, when a CEO says flatten, what they mean is we don't want to pay for these positions anymore. So these cuts happen right before earnings report when Amazon needs to show improving margins. Wall Street has been pressuring tech companies to control costs after the 2021-2022 hiring spree. Announcing cuts now lets Amazon report better profit margins next quarter, regardless of actual business performance. So if AI efficiency was real, you'd see it gradually reflected in metrics over time, not sudden mass layoffs. The timing proves this is a financial engineering, not technological transformation. Investors reward cuts in the short term, even when they hurt the company's long-term competitive position. Now, by publicly linking AI to job cuts, Jassy is putting fear into remaining employees. According to LinkedIn discussions, Amazon workers are now afraid that their jobs are next, even if they survive these cuts. Fear makes people less likely to negotiate, less likely to ask for raises, or less likely to push back on unreasonable demands, like 60 hours a week that most people I know who work at Amazon. So I've seen this tactic used a lot in my years in tech. Scared employees are compliant employees. But fear also destroys innovation, it kills morale, and drives your best talent to competitors. So I've already covered before how HR has been complaining that they can't hire any AI talent because nobody wants to work for Amazon because they're terrified of Amazon and they believe it's a sweatshop. So using AI as a boogeyman is a short-term control tactic that's going to cause long-term organizational damages. And I think it's really short-sighted of Jassy. So 30,000 employees at an average of 3 to 6 months severance is a massive one-time expense. But Amazon is betting that this immediate cost leads to ongoing savings that improve their quarterly numbers. The calculation doesn't account for lost institutional knowledge, damaged team dynamics, or reduced capacity, or the morale that is going to kill innovation. Companies that cut deep often have to rehire within 12 to 18 months when they realize they cut too much. I don't think that's the case in this case. I think in this case, what we're hitting is we're seeing that they overhired when money was free during COVID, and now Amazon, who has enough of a stockpile of cash, is taking, the 2 to 3 years to let that burn down, and then now starting to do the layoffs. So I've watched the cycle repeat across tech for decades. The math only works on spreadsheets. In reality, the cuts can cause some problems later on. Now, if AI was making Amazon more productive, revenue per employee should be skyrocketing, but it's not. Productivity gains from AI tools are measured in hours saved, not entire job eliminations. So according to About Amazon, Jassy talks about AI potential but provides no concrete productivity measures. So at least Google's able to say that they got like a 10% productivity gain. Amazon can't point to any such improvements. The disconnect between the AI efficiency narrative and the actual business results are totally chasm. It's a huge, massive chasm. Real AI productivity shows up as better output from existing teams, not as an excuse to eliminate them. So when the CEO can't show real productivity gains but cuts anyways, the AI story is corporate theater. So while Amazon cuts, competitors are investing heavily in AI teams and keeping their corporate staff. Microsoft and Google are building out their cloud AI offerings with expanded teams, not smaller ones. Amazon's cut in sales, marketing, and support will hurt their ability to compete for new cloud customers, but they don't care. They think they're the biggest and that nobody can touch them. The best AI engineers won't want to join a company that's publicly using AI as an excuse for mass layoffs. You can't claim to be an AI leader while simultaneously cutting the people who would build and sell AI products. So the short-term cost-cutting risks Amazon's long-term position in the most important tech race of the decade. Now, again, I'm pro-capitalism. If a corporation wants to make these moves, I just don't think they're smart moves. I think we've seen a series of missteps by Jassy. So they barely survived the RTO mandate, kind of, but their hiring has been decimated from it. Employees are now facing job cuts anyways, even after the RTO. So this is going to continue to destroy morale. Yahoo Finance reports that workers complied with the return to office, thinking it would save their jobs. When leadership breaks implied agreements, the best people start looking for exits. So I've seen this pattern destroy companies over my career. Once trust is gone, you lose your top performers and you're going to lose innovation. The people who stay after layoffs this big are often those who can't easily leave, not your best talent. Amazon is trading short-term financial gains for long-term organizational weakness and the brain drain that goes with it. Now, curious to hear what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? I love to hear your guys' thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below and make sure and like and subscribe. Here at Startup Hack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies. So reach out if we can help. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment. Perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer.